Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 95 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on January 4th, 2022. Happy New Year! Also, 40 millimeter. Yeah, grenades. Yeah, launchers. 40 millimeter grenade launchers. You know, at some point, you need to ask yourself, how far are you going to go in the NFA game? You know, silencers, yeah, cool. You can go deep. Believe me, you can go deep into silencers. You know, SBR, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns. Yeah, everyone likes shorties. That's cool too. I think that's cool. Machine guns? Dude, go wild. You can spend a literal fortune on transferable machine guns. I mean, people do it all the time. I mean, people dedicate their entire lives to doing that, and only that. You can get pen guns, briefcase guns, all kinds of weird stuff. And then you start to get this little boom boom itch. You know what I'm saying? You're like the destructive device itch. And for those of us that deal with energetic events regularly, there's not as much mystique and mystery. With the destructive device, I guess it's not. I guess the mystery isn't always there, or the allure, but the utility is attractive. Just as weapon systems, in general. For example, particularly with munitions, you can practically produce as well. There is some utility, so I think the attractiveness stems from some of that. So you move into this 40 millimeter platform, right? 40 millimeter grenade launchers, like an M203, for example. It's always been something that I thought was generally a good idea to have, and I'm kind of getting into that world right now. Now I'll let you know how it goes. I'll keep you updated. Like right now I'm playing with this little beehive round. It's basically multiple projectiles shot from a single 40 millimeter loaded cartridge. It can get pretty cool. And so as my interest develops, I'll give you some updates on it. I just wanted to quickly mention, just something I've been messing with recently. And, we'll see how far down the rabbit hole I go. Yeah. What could go wrong? So, in the meantime, the safe bet is silencers, and a good place to get them is from Silencer Shop. That's right, the J Situation Podcast is proudly sponsored by Silencer Shop, the most efficient and intelligent way to purchase silencers. That's right. As a silencer consumer, it is my infrastructure of choice. It is. There's a reason they've grown. They continue to innovate. Right now, the eForm 4 stuff is a little bit interesting due to the ATF systems being, I guess, less than optimized, but I am confident that will become better with time. You can use the Silencer Shop kiosk to do your fingerprints and your photos electronically. Cuts down on errors, simplifies your silencer purchasing process. They give you a money-back guarantee, no transfer fees, very few errors. It's just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. That's right, it is. It is. And secondly, and moving into 2022, continuously, now and forever, the J Situation Podcast is sponsored by PEW Science, pushing the silencer industry forward one test at a time. Visit PEWScience.com for the suppression rating, the simplest and most accurate hearing safe ratings for your suppressed small arms. It's based on true human sound perception because sound perception is based on inner ear response of the human, so-called human person. The suppression rating is in section 5 of the Silencer Sound Standard on the website. Yeah, PEWScience.com. It's going to walk you through gunshot noise. It's a little... You can get a little wordy. There's some graphs on there, but by and large, it's going to let you know how to decipher the information on the website. And if you haven't dug into it, that's fine. I know there's a lot there. Skip to section 5. It will show you the suppression rating. It lets you know how silencers stack up in comparison to one another with regard to sound at the muzzle and the shooter's ear. And that rating gives you a hearing-safe dose limit for the particular platforms on which the silencers are tested. Okay, the higher numbers are quieter. Lower numbers are louder or more harsh, more damaging to your ears. Okay, it's an objective rating system that I developed for you, the silencer user. That's right. That's all there is to it. You're not going to find this information anywhere else in the world. Trust me. If it did exist, I wouldn't have to do it. But it didn't exist, so I did it. And here we are. And if it's too much for you, if you go to section 7, there's a ranking section on pewscience.com. It'll summarize all the data in a nice sortable table for you. And if you want to dig deeper, there are links in the table to take you back to the main part of the standard to read all the nitty-gritty if you're into that, which you very well may be. It's not for everyone, but it might be for you. That's right. And as always, if you are a manufacturer and you would like to use PEW Science for private testing and consulting services, there is a form on the website with which you can submit that inquiry. Your contact information and all test data will be held in strict confidence, unless, of course, you want to release it to the public, in which case, PEW Science can certainly help you do that. That's right. We've done that a couple times, and we'll continue to do that for our wonderful R&D clients. You can support this podcast, PEW Science, and all the testing I do by joining with a membership at pewscience.com. You can. There's also a donate function, and you can give a little bit, you can give a lot of it, or you can give none at all. That's right. Also, something that is completely free to you is that you can spread the word. Give the podcast a good rating on iTunes, on Spotify, which you can give ratings on Spotify now. That'd be really great. And you can let the podcast overlords know that silencers and guns are awesome. One step closer to the normalization of suppressed small arms. That's right. That's the goal. Okay. I am going to try to go pretty quickly today. I got a lot of stuff on my plate, so we're going to try to get a quick episode for you. I have 4 topics I kind of want to hit. Topic 1, an update for you on big bore silencer host selection. I want to talk a little bit about 4570. Does anyone shoot 4570? Boy, howdy. The answer is yes. Topic 2, new sound signature review this week. That's right. It's a new year. Let's get weird. Maybe not too weird. Just get a little weird. Topic 3, which silencers are you most excited about right now? I just kind of wanted to open up this topic. I figured, hey, it's a new year. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I was thinking to myself, gosh, what if we kind of get our minds working, like what's on the horizon for 2022? What are we going to see, And honestly, I'm sort of wondering what's going on with Surefire. That might be one of the big ones, and maybe who can tackle high flow like the OSS silencers. These are the types of things it'll be cool to talk about. And then finally, topic 4, fairly caught up on new PEW Science member welcome emails. Most of the client interaction stuff and most of the administrative items. So if you've been missing me on comms for some reason, if you haven't been able to get a hold of me properly, just please reach out again. I actually, just before I started recording this, I responded to some folks. Their email was in my spam folder, and I was like, oh my gosh. So sometimes I go in the spam folder. I get a lot of spam, but sometimes I have to go in there and kind of check through it manually sometimes. It's kind of a bummer when that happens. But yeah, thank you all for your support. Okay. All right, let's move into topic 1 at a time of 9 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay. Yeah, big bore silencer host selection update. 4570. The humanity. The manatee? The human manatee? No. 4570 is crazy. I did a user solicitation on the old Instagram stories, as it were. Got a ton of responses over the holidays there. As I mentioned last time, there is some PEW Science contract testing coming through, and it's going to need to evaluate a 46 caliber silencer. And in a rare occurrence, I let the client know we would be soliciting suggestions for the host publicly. It's kind of interesting that doesn't usually happen with you go to a test lab and the test lab starts to ask the public what they want. It seems weird at first, but this is the nature of PEW Science. Because this usually doesn't happen, but I saw a unique opportunity here to benefit the community at large. I proposed it to the client, and the client agreed, and now here we are. You understand? So, and I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, guys. PEW Science is a true public research cooperative, and a lot of people don't know what research cooperatives are, but they exist. They exist in different professions, different industries. I am not aware of another one in the industry of suppressed small arms other than PEW Science. I don't think there has been any ever. So I say that PEW Science is the first and only suppressed small arm public research cooperative and consultancy and test laboratory. I mean, it is what it is. So this is how I'm doing it. There is no model for it in this industry. There are models for it in others. And I'm taking some aspects of those models and applying it here. Okay, so just to let you know, like, this is a private test program. You're not going to know who it's for. Eventually you might if it gets published. But right now, I was like, you know what? They asked me, hey, Jay, and keep in mind, the only reason I'm telling you any of this is because this part of it became public. Otherwise, you would not know anything. Because, we do private test programs all the time, but you're never going to see. But in this case, I was like, hey, so, the client asked me, well, what have you used to test the big bore silencers? And I was like, 45 ACP out of a handgun. So far. I mean, other than like Magnum rifles with like, 338 Lapua Magnum, 300 Norma Mag, things like that, Barrett MRAD stuff, some of that, other than that stuff, I hadn't done any, larger caliber stuff other than 45 ACP behind the scenes. And, they're like, well, what about hunters? So we started to talk about 4570. And I, we got to talking about it, and they're like, well, what have you used for 4570? I said, well, I haven't. They're like, interesting. And I said, well, what? I said, well, what about this? What about we do 4570? I said, okay. I said, I'm going to get a host for it, but if I'm going to get a host for 4570 and you want some apples to apples comparisons, let's get a bushel of apples. I mean, how are we going to do that? You're going to need to use the same gun, same ammo, and you're going to need to test all these big bore silencers on the same host. And if we're going to do one on 4570, well, I mean, let's do them all. I mean, why not? And the benefit of that is it's a single shot weapon system, lever action. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So we wanted single shot, or I highly recommended to start with single shot. And for those of you who've been listening for a while, you know why. It's very important to do that first. We wanted single shot. We wanted an actual round that's used by hunters. So, like, not just some kind of weird fantasy round that no one uses. And 4570 seems to be a cartridge from a lever action platform that's popular, dude. I know there's 458 SOCOM. I know those 458 SOCOM guys are out there too. I know it. But I think we can agree at the most basic level that hunting with a 4570 lever action is more common than folks hunting with a 458 SOCOM out of ARs. Like, and and the enthusiast community might be like, well, yeah, it's okay. I understand, like, your proclivity for certain things, but let's be honest. Now, I mean, this isn't set in stone yet, but if you have any information that indicates 458 SOCOM is more prolific than 4570, please, by all means, tech@pewscience.com. But I don't think so. Okay. So about 4570, it's kind of weird, right? And you're like, why are you like, oh my God, we don't even have the Surefire Mini on 556 yet. How dare you talk about 4570? Relax. Okay, there's a lot to do. We can't just do one thing and not do other things. Okay, we have to multitask. Okay, it's part of real life. So just be patient. Okay, I was going to talk about 4570 because it's kind of weird. It's a straight wall cartridge, and I was going a little deep on it, and you can put basically any bullet weight you want in this. Like, it's weird, dude, and it gets crazy. You have so much flexibility. Just go do an internet search on 4570 and learn about it. You're gonna see some wild things, but like for anything else, we need to pick a test load. Okay, we need something standard, or this is just not going to work. Okay, and this is PEW Science. We got to do it right, and we got to do it standardized. We got to have apples to apples, right? That's the whole point. So here kind of here's my, and I've made mistakes before, but I like to think I'm pretty good at this. Here are my kind of requirements for a test load. It needs to be reasonable to attain. It needs to be relatable for use for folks, like not crazy, like not something like so like, you know, esoteric that it's not relatable. And it also needs to be not unreasonably quiet for some reason. Okay, it needs to be something relatively typical and not unconservative for suppressed use. You feel me? Like I'm not going to shoot with that Hush ammo for 9mm. Like that's just get out of here with that mess. Okay, you see the 9mm tests I've done. I've used Spear Lawman 147 grain. Okay, let's make the silencers work. Okay, I'm not going to blow your skirt up with some fake ammo. So, and believe me, I'll use the term fake ammo just like they coined the term fake news. Don't test me. I'll do it. And so, finally, I forgot to say this part. The ammunition has to be consistent, relatively consistent. Okay, and so, I got some suggestions from PEW Science members and from some podcast listeners via email, and I really appreciate, guys. Like, this is a big help. A lot of you folks were saying to look at the Hornady lever evolution. I guess that would be Leva Revolution. I don't know how you pronounce that word. It's crazy. They combined the word lever and revolution, or lever and evolution, however you want to write. But you'll see it when you read it. Anyway, it comes in 3 bullet weights, and with corresponding different powder loads. So it's 250 grain weight, 325 grain weight, and a 410 grain weight. These are heavy bullets, dude. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? So I was looking at that ammo. I was like, okay, it's made by Hornady. That doesn't necessarily mean it's great, but it does mean it's available. Excuse me. So I was thinking, okay, that's a good step in the right direction. And, given that we want to understand worst case sound signature, I'm thinking we go 16 inches for barrel length. I think the 410 grain load is too big. I do. It's going to be subsonic probably. I just don't see that. And even if it's not, dude, I don't know that we need a 410 grain test load. That doesn't make sense to me. I think maybe the 250 grain will be the sweet spot for us. I think with regard to signature, for worst case. You feel me? I think that for worst case, I bet you 250 grain is going to be the standard load. And I'm not real. And guys, I know it. You're already thinking it. Oh, dude, you could just like reload. I know this awesome load. Like you just get this bullet and then you put this powder behind it. No, 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 no. It needs to be off the shelf, dude. I'm not using custom loads to test with. It's just not. It's not going to be practical. It's not smart. You're going to use factory ammunition. So yeah, if you have a favorite factory 4570 load, I want you to email tech@pewscience.com and let me know what it is, okay? That would be awesome. And so here's what I want to do. And it's very rare that you get to participate in something like this, but this is Pew Science, and I've created this mechanism by which you can participate. You guys are literally helping to form the future of suppressed small arm testing. Every question you ask me, every dollar you contribute to Pew Science, every time you spread the word about it, you are helping shape the future of the silencer industry. I'm telling you, and it sounds hyperbolic, but it's not, dude. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do, or what I want to do. I'm going to buy this Host rifle. Then I'm going to test this load that we pick, or maybe a couple of them unsuppressed. Okay. And maybe I put them, I don't know, maybe I put them through like a rugged obsidian 45. Because a rugged obsidian 45 can take 4570 out of a 16-inch barrel. Yeah, it is rated for that, according to the manufacturer. So I should theoretically be able to put an obsidian 45 on a 16-inch 4570 and blast through it. And so I was going to kind of do that maybe. I mean, really, I'm more interested in the unsuppressed because I need to test ammunition consistency. But I figure if I'm shooting the Host, I'm testing. I was like, I'll throw my obsidian on there. I have my own obsidian. I have another obsidian in inventory. To tell you the truth, I'll probably shoot the one I have in inventory, not my own, just to see. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle it initially for this R&D program. But I know what I won't do. I won't just go into a contracted test program blind without understanding the cartridge and the ammunition. Okay, I have had client programs in which they supply the weapon, the ammo, and everything, and they just tell me we just need these numbers and we just need this data, we just need these waveforms, and I'm like, okay. And I do it, and I don't ask any questions, and the clients are people you don't really ask questions to, so I'm like, okay. And they get the report, I'm like, I'm out. You know what I mean? But this time is not like that. This is more of a cooperative effort, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to understand this 4570 load. We have, I think, the responsibility to the community at large to discuss the combustion dynamics of the load and what we see in the data, so I think I'm going to do it to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So give me feedback if you have any. Again, tech@pewscience.com. That's TECH@pewscience.com. So thank you. Okay. And by the way, I will say I was reading up on this cartridge, and it's kind of neat. Man, talk about penetration. Yeah, that's what she said. It's a family show. No, pretty large bullets, moving not that fast. And sometimes moving faster than you would think. It's a spectrum. Like I was telling the reloaders love this thing. I bet you can do all kinds of weird stuff with it. It's such an old cartridge. Yeah, I'm saying if you reload, I bet you can do some pretty gnarly stuff with this round. It's kind of cool, and I'm kind of a sucker for interesting single shot guns with silencers. I always have been. I have a feeling this will be hard to suppress due to the bore size. But then again, the pressures are kind of low. And if the barrel's 16 inches, I don't know, man, it might be cool. People are using 4570 at a shorter than 16. You didn't get a Thompson Contender in the 4570, right? Isn't that crazy? It's wild, right? I just think that's kind of crazy. So yeah. 16 inches, I think that's a good barrel length. I do. And the more I read about 4570 and started thinking about it, I was like, something tells me that a 30-30 would be in my future. Man, you're listening to this, you're like, oh, he's going full boomer. He's going full boomer. No, but I might be. No, but yeah, I was thinking 30-30. I mean, it only makes sense when you really think about it. If you're going to go 45-70, you think to yourself, well, why don't I just go 30-30? You know? I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're not familiar with these cartridges, go read about them. I think you're going to learn something. It might open up another world for you. You might get kind of into it. It's weird. They're old. They're really old cartridges, and they've done a lot. They've done a lot of work. You know, I think the 30-30, and I hear this all the time from the FUDs, and it could be true. They say that the 30-30 has killed more white-tailed deer in North America than any other rifle cartridge. And thinking about the history of white-tailed deer hunting and the history of the 30-30 and the firearms that fire that cartridge, that might be true. I don't know. If you told me, if you told that to me, which I have been told that, I have no reason to doubt it being true. You know, so I don't know. Maybe what type of lore is available for the 45-70? When it's like, it's killed so many buffalo, you don't even know. Probably not buffalo. I don't know. Maybe I probably have my history wrong. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get ahead of myself here. Let's move into topic 2 at a time of 26 minutes and 37 seconds. Okay, topic 2. Yeah, new sound signature review this week. Oh my goodness, it's a new year. Why not kick off the first week of the new year with a sound signature review? I mean, it only made sense, and I'm gonna get a little weird with it. I had something I tested a while back, and I think it might be useful for people, so I'm going to give it to you. People are either going to love this or think I'm crazy, and either way, we're going to learn something. And I think that it might actually start an entirely new research direction, really. I mean, I don't want to talk it up too much because it's not that crazy. It's not that cool, but I think it might start a tangent when people start to ponder the possibilities. Let's just say that. Okay? What else can I say without giving this away? I think another thing this review is going to do, it's going to show the practical limits of suppression in a way. In other words, just what can you do with a certain type of silencer? If you're so inclined. You feel me? What can you push? What boundaries can you push? How far can you push them? And if you're on a budget, what can you do with something you may have just sitting around in your collection? Maybe you're not stretching the legs on it. Maybe you have this silencer on one host or one type of host, and you're like, yeah, I have this silencer for this, and I use it on these guns, but I think I want this. Well, what if you don't need to do that? What if you can put it on something you don't normally put it on, and does it do anything? Is it awesome? Is it crappy? Is it middle of the road? What does it do? You know what I mean? So maybe some of those questions will be answered for you. So stay tuned, friends. Stay tuned. Let's kick off 2022 with something interesting. I think that's always good. You could always crash and burn, which is definitely a possibility. Okay. Topic 3 at a time of 28 minutes. 29 minutes. I try to do this, but I crossed the time gap. 29 minutes and 12 seconds. Okay, I'll get a drink of water here. It reminds me, I was on the Seaburn Art podcast, the Art and War podcast. Oh, shit. Just knocked my microphone over. I think it should be okay now. Yeah, so I was at I not only did I just not knock my microphone over. Hold on one second. Yeah, it appears to be working. not only did I just knock my microphone over, but it hit the keyboard, and the audio program was like, "You can't do that." And I was like, I didn't try. No, I was and it's funny, and this is kind of serendipitous. I was on the Art and War podcast the other day with those guys, and I had remarked that I don't edit the podcast. I just blow through it and just like record it all in one take. And they were like, "What?" But yeah. So like this is what it is. I had a point, but then I forgot what the point was because I knocked my microphone over. Okay. Yeah, topic 3. This is going to be good, I think, because I've been thinking in my own mind kind of, I don't know, what I'm most excited about. Sometimes I get a little bit jaded with silencers. And so I wanted to talk about in this topic, like, what silencers are you most excited about? And I wanted to tell you some things I was thinking about. And I think sometimes it helps to verbalize this. And maybe we can get like a community motivation going and like some thought experiments going, because it really helps to, I don't know. It's just that it's that new 2022 creativity, right? Let's like start to, I don't know. I like to think about it. Some of it, you know what I mean? So, and also let's start some rumors. Let's force some companies to do something. Let's start some rumors that might not be true. No. But yeah, what about the RC3? Surefire. I don't even know if that's going to be real. Is it real? Is Surefire RC3 real? And what is the mount going to be like? I've been thinking about this, and I was thinking about, is it going to be a universal thread pitch? Like, can we put any mount we want in the back of a Surefire? I mean, is that what they're going to do for us? And will it be awesome? And like, will it be like an RC2 with a universal mount capability, or will it be something like super different? And if they do that, like, will it be the similar type of dish baffles they have, or will it be something completely different? You know, I don't know, but I'm speculating. You know, like hard. I'm like, this is like complete and utter speculation. And, you know, frankly, I've done a lot of Surefire testing, and along with, and am I going to piss people off? Probably. You know, I'm going to say it. I've done a lot of Surefire testing, and along with CGS and OSS, Surefire is probably the most intriguing to me. Like, guys, honestly, if I had to pick 3 silencer companies with the most fascinating products, it would be Surefire, CGS, and OSS. And I think a close fourth would be Dead Air, probably. And it would be for their Nomad stuff, probably. I mean, to me, that's the interesting part of Dead Air, like, to me. So yeah, I mean, that's my 4, I guess. The top 3, and like the 4th. You know, the Nomad baffle, and specifically the Nomad TI baffle, frankly, are interesting to me. They are, but really, as far as silencer lines, like and like the product function, the technical performance, and the balance, the Surefire, the CGS, and the OSS, those are my personal top 3 right now, and that's personal. That's not PEW Science opinion, that's just my opinion. That's the result of my own use, and also what I see in the data published. What I see in the data published influences my opinions. Like, I'm a silencer consumer like you, so when I do an article for PEW Science, an analytical test report for PEW Science, and I execute that analysis, I write that and put that on the internet publicly. Like, it affects me just like it affects you. You understand? Like, I also learn from it. And so I just learn a little bit differently because I'm the one writing it. But yeah, so this is like based on what I know, those 3 brands to me, you know, it's, I don't know, it's the results of my use. It's It's what I see in the published data. It's the future potential I see in the three brands, and the technologies, the technologies I guess that they're using, and I guess the technologies that they're fostering by using, the manufacturing methods, the total silencer package, guys. Okay, those are the three brands for me, and each have their own positives and negatives. Okay, they're not. None of them are perfect. Trust me. Those three silencer brands, none of them are perfect, and there's good things about all three of them, and there's bad things too. So I feel like I could do a whole episode on that. Okay, but I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here. I figure like you kind of know what's, maybe if you know what's going on in my head, maybe I can kind of know what's going on in yours. Maybe we talk about it. You know what I mean? So I want to, like, what are you guys most excited about? Like, like I said, I'm excited about seeing new stuff from Surefire, simply because I feel like all this stuff is older, and we've learned a lot about the RC2, and we've learned a lot about the mounts. And if the mount issues were fixed, I feel like it'd be like on like Donkey Kong. I really do think that. They're making some really great stuff. Okay? And take CGS. I'm excited about CGS. I mean, for one, they're an R&D client, and I know a little bit about how they think and how they operate, and and pretty importantly, the philosophy behind their products, which is, in so many words, basically make the coolest stuff they can and push the envelope and take advantage of any learning opportunity that's available, even if it might not make commercial sense. And that's probably why I get along with them so well, because I feel like CGS is a true skunkworks company. And it shows. They're not Surefire, dude. Surefire is awesome for so many reasons. So many reasons. Sure, I admire Surefire for so many reasons. I admire CGS for some of the same reasons and completely different reasons, dude. Different sport. Different sport. And OSS, hey, I'm excited about that because they have you. I feel like a lot of people actually don't know how far they've come, because they have tweaked and changed and iterated until creating something that actually does what they wanted it to do. They didn't give up. And that shows perseverance, dude, which is, to me, literally insane. Because when you look at an OSS silencer, you're like, what in the actual F did they try to do? And it works. And you're like, what? It's so crazy that it works. I'm like, really? Every time I look at the data, I'm just like, I cannot believe this. Like, this is so cool. I just think it's so cool. And so, yeah, it's not perfect. The OSS stuff is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But dang, does it do well for what it is? And right now, it's intriguing. I can't wait to see if they do more. I have no idea what they will do. I have no idea. But I'm here for it, whatever it is. Whatever it is, I'm here for it, And so, yeah, I that's what I think about that. And so those are the three. I mean, because people ask me all the time, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I was like, well, let me give some feedback on the podcast in real time here, and let me give it to you genuine from my brain. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about right now. That doesn't mean that there aren't new things coming out that aren't cool. It's just that those three is kind of what I see that I'm thinking about, whoa, what else could they do? Because for example, I've had a lot of people send me this information and stuff on some new silencer from LMT. I'm like, LMT? I'm like, we'll see. I need to test it. I know nothing about this thing. Something it might have some flow through elements. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how good it'll be or not. I've tested some great stuff and some not so great stuff from all kinds of manufacturers. So, I know everyone's amped up because it's from LMT, but I got news for you. Brand has very little to do with performance. And I think history has shown that. And PEW Science has shown that too. So, you need to from what and I don't know a lot about that, but I about that brand specifically when it comes to silencers, but I'm not so sure they have a lot of silencer experience unless I'm missing something. Maybe there's a pedigree I'm not aware of. So we'll see. Could be cool. Could be awesome. Maybe they got some expertise from an outside source. I don't know. Happens sometimes, And what else? Oh yeah, the new SIG stuff. The SIG SLH stuff. I have that in now. Haven't tested it yet. So those. So that's an example of some things on the horizon. And I mentioned it before. The SIG stuff. It's going to be interesting due to 3D printing. And what have they done with it? Is it going to be like a Daniel Defense Wave situation? Where, they probably could have made the Wave with traditional manufacturing techniques. They probably could have. The SIG stuff going to be like that? Or is it going to be more like a CGS scenario where they're doing some complex things that are a little bit easier with additive manufacturing? You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be kind of interesting to see, like, what are they really able to do? What are they able to take advantage of, with regard to geometry and flow paths? I don't know. I'm going to see what dividends were gained, and are the dividends gained all they're cracked up to be, and how would we even know? How are we going to compare it to a baseline? Like, what? We're going to go back to the old SIG stuff, the SRD with the straight cones. And it's like, well, it's a completely different silencer than that. So it's like, it's not really comparable. It's like, I don't even know what we're going to do baseline-wise. So, it's either going to do something that, is out of the ordinary, or it's not. What is the end result going to be? I'll probably test it and then probably have to find some kind of cutaway views if that's possible. I don't know if they're going to share that with me or not. Probably not. Maybe. I could always contact them, I guess. Never hurts to try. So let me know. Let me know in the comments, on Instagram, Reddit, wherever. What are you most excited about for silencers? And is it anything like that's not on the market? Or maybe there's something on the market that you're excited about and you're chomping at the bit for PEW Science to test it. Let me know. Let me know. I love to hear it. I do, and I listen to you. I'm here. I listen. Okay. All right. I'm going to try not to knock my microphone over now. Topic 4 at a time of 42 minutes and 43 seconds. Just one of those weeks. Trying to get back in the swing of things, guys. It's the beginning of the year. It's the first week of the year. Cut me some slack. Okay. Yeah. Topic 4. I'm fairly caught up on administrative items. I am on client interaction, member welcome emails, things like that. And if you have had an issue getting a hold of me, I think I've seen everything. If I haven't, if you're just being like, Jay, where's Jay? How come he hasn't gotten back to me? Just shoot me an email again or something. And I'll see it or reach out again. I just might have missed it. So thanks for your patience. Okay, I wanted to say that. It is greatly appreciated. I took some time off the past couple weeks, but not nearly enough time off. So I'm really burned out, guys. I just want to be transparent with you about that. I'm very burned out, and it's January's now. So I'm taking measures to remedy that. How do I say this? Remedy that dynamically. Like for now, I will say I'm caught up with most administrative items, and your support does mean the world. Okay, and that's helpful. And something that's helpful, like a morale boost, I guess, which is really cool, is that we're able to disseminate information efficiently now, dude. Like from what I've seen, I kind of do like an internal after action report every time I publish something. I kind of just assess kind of how it goes, and it looks like to me, and by all my metrics, that when data is released, people are quick to read it. They're quick to digest it and quick to explain it to people that may have preconceived notions. And the people that consume this information I'm releasing they're pretty quick to nip it in the bud if there's an issue. It's awesome. And it happens relatively quickly across the internet. And I here's an example. I think the Q Trash Panda review on the Mark 18 really showed that. The PEW Science Army quickly understood the data, and in the midst of severely immature reactions from like the internet fanboys and stuff like that, and in the midst of a lot of weird propaganda that was going on, there was factual information flowing freely and easily across the entire internet. And people realized, they're like, hey, the Trash Panda didn't even do that badly on the Mark 18, did it? And once again, real data and analysis prevailed. Everyone kind of stood around. They were like, hey, like, what was all that fuss about? And they realized, they're like, oh, right, the silencer industry can't go 10 minutes without completely exploding with ridiculousness. And they're like, okay, just business as usual. And then we moved on. And it was once again irrelevant. And the performance is there, and it's there. It's in the Silencer Sound Standard. And now we're moving on to the next review this week. So I think that this is a testament to really I'm trying to pick the right adjective. The integrity of the effort, the solidarity. I don't know. Robustness. Yeah. It's a robust effort. It is. The information distribution is robust and efficient. And I think that showed that. I mean, it's hard to poison the information delivery with propaganda when it can't be poison. It can't be. It's almost protected from poison, which is cool. And that's thanks to you. It's all of you. Thanks, guys. I mean, thanks for being great. Thanks for helping the entire last year to be awesome. And I think this year is off to a good start. Okay, so stay tuned for some good and interesting data. All right, I think it's going to be cool. I think you may find that the data will be more useful than you realize at first. I don't know. We'll see. I almost forgot. If you use 40 millimeter Beehive rounds in grenade launchers, please email me so we can speak about your experience. I would love to speak about your experience with you. I'll put one in the photo for today's episode. It's a 40 millimeter. Frankly, guys, it's 40 millimeter time, homies. All right, it is. Okay. So with that, stay safe out there. I will talk with you folks again soon. Stay tuned for data.